Jack, it seems, and what I've seen in my experience, it's real important when you're working with an investor to know what all the potentials are for a particular property and timberland in general. It's not just pulpwood and chip and saw. There's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more potential for revenue and for benefits you can derive from the land than just the trees themselves. A lot of investors realize that, and they come to us with that in mind. Some of them don't. They have to be educated about all the different aspects of what's important revenue-wise and then other benefits they might get from the property, such as recreation. What does a typical investor that you work with here in Central Florida look like? What are their goals? What are their desires? What are they shooting for?
Well, our typical timberland investor probably comes from Tampa. High net worth individual, could be a football player or a baseball player or just a very successful businessman, probably middle-aged or later in their life and wanting to enjoy life a little bit more than they do living in Tampa and having the property. We have a lot of city people buying timberland a little bit north of Tampa, Pasco County, Hernando, those kinds of places, and then hopefully allowing us with our expertise or some professional to help them decide how they're going to manage their property. You do it in North Florida a little bit more than we do down here, but you have to take these tracts and tailor your management to the market conditions that you're experiencing. Down here, we're 100 miles from the nearest paper mill, so we do not sell much pulpwood, but we do sell a lot of our smaller diameter wood to mulch plants. Well, the mulch industry is pretty big down here, and we get very good prices for mulch. We don't have the sawmills that you have up in North Florida, but we recently have developed a really good market down here for poles. And as you can tell with a tract like this, we're really trying to manage for straight timber that meets the specifications for the pole market. And when we do that and we hit it right, our revenue that we generate from our timber up here rivals the revenue you get from the really high market area in North Florida, where you are closer to the market. So
yeah,
that's what we have.
Yeah, and similarly, or by contrast, in North Florida, a lot of our investors there are more looking at return on timberland investment, on the trees themselves and the products that they're going to grow. And now we do see a lot of the investors coming from Central and South Florida that are looking for a combination timberland recreation tract, where the recreation component of that is really important. Those properties seem to be on the smaller of the several hundred acre scale. When you get much above that into the several thousand acre scale, then you're looking at mostly pure timberland investors. And a lot of those, it's the very bottom line is what is going to be my return on investment from the revenue that I can generate growing timber and selling other products, pine straw, hunting lease income, and those kinds of things. So we get a wide range up there of different investors. And of course, it's important to know the folks that are coming to us for help in trying to buy timberland, what they're looking for, what their main goal is, and how we can help them achieve that, depending on what their desires are. If it's just a deer hunting tract, we got that. We can do that. We know what that looks like, and we know how to find that. And if it's a timber investment tract, certainly we have the expertise to do that as well. And that's right in our strike zone in North Florida, because as you say, the markets there they're deeper and more developed. There's more mills. There's more opportunities to grow the different products that can be grown up there. So we see a wide range of those types of investors from one extreme to the other, and enjoy working with all of them. But it's important to know what they're looking for and how we can help them achieve that.
Well, they expect that from whatever kind of professional that they're going to use in managing their land, whether it's a real estate person who understands real estate values, or people like us that really understand the real estate value as well as the timber values.
Exactly.
And they expect us to be able to professionally plan their investment. I mean, we go through the opportunity to build forest management plans and then try to follow that to meet their expectations, and also to be able to tailor our forest management plan to the very best financial opportunity that is afforded to them.
Well, and the other thing about that is the forest management plan, how you're going to get there, but it's also the metrics to measure that and to project, well, what is the growth of these trees going to be like? What are the products you're going to have, and develop some kind of cash flow over time that's reliable, that they can count on to do their planning, their financial planning, and show where the returns are going to come from. And that requires knowledge of the markets, the ability to model timber growth and determine what products are going to be produced. The mapping and GIS, determine acreages, and all those kind of things that come together that will tell an investor what is their cash flow going to look like, and what are their costs going to be, et cetera. And being consulting foresters and understanding that side of it, along with the real estate knowledge, is key to be able to help an investor in that regard as well.
Well, in this day and age, with silviculture being really tailored to modern forest management, we're pretty accurate in how we can make these projections. I mean, there's certainly some art to building, a financial analysis of these tracts and hopefully predicting accurately what's going to happen to them. But we're pretty sophisticated in how we do that, and I think always, especially with larger tracts, most of these landowners have to come to professionals like us to help them meet their objectives, and hopefully they haven't made a financial mistake in buying their timberland. And quite frankly, I don't know that in my career, which is getting longer in the tooth than I wish it was, but we've rarely had a landowner that's been unhappy with their timberland investment, both from a financial aspect and also from just enjoying owning timberland.
One of the biggest challenges that is out there for an investor is finding the property, finding a timberland tract that is for sale, that could be bought, and then can be bought at a price that makes a sound investment, that gives the return that the investor is looking for. And unlike houses and some commercial properties, there's not really an MLS you can go to and see all the timberland tracts that are for sale. They're not typically listed that way. A pure timberland investment tract isn't typically listed at all. It may be sold in a bid situation or something like that, but it takes a lot of knowledge of the owners of the timberland to be able to find where the properties are and which ones are for sale and which ones can be bought. There's no catalog out there of timberland tracts for sale, and that's a challenge for us, and it's one that we meet for our investor clients. But it is difficult. That's a reality that we have to face, that you just can't go and pull out a list of timberland tracts for sale and pick and choose the ones you want to go make an offer on. So you need somebody with the knowledge and the contacts to be able to tease out those properties that might be available for sale to find those good investments. And that's part of what we do, working in that realm and in that industry for so long, having those contacts and that knowledge of the properties that could be purchased.
Maybe I've been at this too long, but I think we do have that expertise, especially with our company and being working with Saunders Real Estate. We pretty much cover the state of Florida and South Georgia, know the market, know the landowners. A lot of times being able to find properties that really are off market that might meet the needs of our clients, and hopefully not overpriced.